go. Careful not to get the cardboard. Gotta keep that sleeve looking good, you know what I mean? What's up, Cellar Dwellers? Back after opening the movie and now watching it. Did this with my lovely wife, Pam, over there. Hey, say hi.
Hi.
Hi. You seem super impressed. Her first question was, after the movie ended, do we have to do this now? No, we're gonna do it tomorrow. So, this movie is about a nerd, essentially, that has a best friend who's a jock. And the jock drives a really nice car. And he picks up his buddy, his nerd buddy, brings him to work, brings him to school, brings him home. And the first day of school in this movie, I think they said it's their senior year. Yeah, it is their senior year. The nerd is in, not shop class, but I guess that's what it is when you're learning how to work on cars. And these 4 bullies at the school have him surrounded, and they're picking on him, have his lunch and whatever. The jock tries to save him from the little group. Dude pulls out a knife. Dude that pulls out knife gets expelled, and that's basically that's it for that scene. So on the way home after school that day, nerd finds a car. Well, sees a car on the way home that he really likes. Ends up buying it from this really creepy dude for $250 or $300, something like that. The jock doesn't like the creepy man, but I'm so bad with names. The nerd, we'll just stick with nerd and jock. The nerd, the nerd loves the car, ends up writing a check right there. Jock tries to talk him out of it, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't happen, he buys the car. Gets the car home, parents are pissed. So he takes the car to, is it like a drive-in and fix-it-yourself place, essentially? Like a rent a spot, and you can fix the car on your own. And so he ends up putting all this work into the car. The car's name is Christine, which he learned from the guy that they bought it from. Because he's like, yeah, it does have her name, or she does have her name, it's Christine. So anyway, the car already had a name, and the nerdy kid loved it. So he kept the name as Christine. So he puts all of this work into Christine, and comes out really good. Takes a piece of shit and he polishes it. Like they say, you can't polish a turd, but he did. So he ends up driving. So this is the one really popular, attractive. I don't think she's popular. She was brand new, but the most attractive girl in the school, according to all these kids, turned down the jock on a bet. There was a bunch of kids that made a bet with him, saying, "I bet you can't go get her to go on a date with you." So he goes up, asks her on a date. She says, "No, I have a date that night," or whatever. And then so Jock goes back to his friends, all sad. Not really, but he lost the bet. So then at the football game on that Friday night, the Jock is he the quarterback? No, he's like a wide receiver.
Yeah,
He's going to catch a pass off a play and sees his nerdy buddy pull up with a girl that he asked out, and dude's dressed like fucking Fonzie from Happy Days. And his car looks really nice and all of that stuff. So the 4 dudes that were beating up on him in the original scene, the very first scene of the movie, see his car and see him. And they're like, oh, we know where he keeps that car. So Jock sees him with his girlfriend, well, the girl that he asked out, and he ends up getting really hurt because he wasn't paying attention to the play that was happening. And he gets hurt, almost breaks his back, and ends up in the hospital. Meanwhile, 4 dudes that saw his car end up following him there that night or something like that. He drops the car and they beat the shit out of it with sledgehammers and all this stuff. They totaled the vehicle. And nerdy kid comes in, sees his car all beat up. And then gets kind of fuzzy after that. Is that when the car starts going wild?
Yeah, not when it started to fix it. I think that's when it fixed itself, because he didn't do it at all after that.
Oh, that's right. He comes in and it's fucking beat to shit. He didn't. No, it revved its engine real quick at him. Not real quick, but it was talking to him. Yeah, and then he gets out in front of the vehicle and he's like, "Yeah, let's do this, or prove it, or show me, or something like that. And the car regenerates itself. Like, and for an older movie, it looked awesome. So anyway, car regenerates itself. The car ends up killing the fatter of the four, and then it goes after the dude with the real fucking like chop mutton chop like sides. Goes after him, kills his buddy and him at the same time. There's a fourth one, but I don't know if the fourth one ever died.
I don't know either.
Anyway, the car is alive and it chases down these people and runs them over and kills them. And then, so the cops are investigating Nerdy Kid, who looks like Fonzie now, and because he's like a badass, he's like obsessed with the car. The old man that told the story to Jock and Nerdy Kid, basically the exact story that guy told is what happens to the Nerdy Kid, because he falls in love with the car. No one gets in between him and the car, and it just goes. He didn't give a shit about his wife, didn't give a shit about his family. It's basically the exact same story. So the car kills everyone. Cops are investigating the Nerdy Kid. He's blowing them off. Then the Jock ends up going in, like, I don't remember what he wrote, but he keyed the car. He did it with a screwdriver. I don't remember what he wrote. Daryl something.
Daryl's Tonight.
Oh, Daryl's Tonight. That's right.
And I don't know what the car. He fixed up the car.
Oh, that makes sense. I didn't get that at the time. That makes sense now. So, they wrote Daryl's Tonight on the vehicle to get out. It's the Jock that did it. So he's destroying this car, and he knows the car is going to come after him. So there's a big story, part of the story that's missing, like a big plot. Like they could have put in another 15 minutes about how he figured out how this car is actually alive. Anyway, so he goes there with his girlfriend. Well, it was Nerdy Kid's girlfriend, Fonzie's girlfriend, but it was the one that the Jock had initially asked out. So they go to the warehouse where Nerdy Kid's been working on the car. Car comes in. Well, they get there. They got like a big, I don't know. I want to call it a digger because that's what it says in Henry's books, but it's like
I don't know. It's like a bulldozer.
Bulldozer. There you go. It's a bulldozer, and their plan is to get Christine to come in, and they're going to use this bulldozer to destroy Christine. So the biggest jump scare in the movie is while they're waiting for Christine to show up, the car is already hiding in a bunch of like fucking boxes, and the lights and the engine all come on at once, and it actually made us both jump. And so the car's there. They go through, whatever, some shit happens, and then the car flies into this office where the girl's hiding, and what's his face, Fonzie, flies out of the car. So every other kill, he wasn't in the car. The car was doing it on its own. This time he was in the car. So he goes flying through the windshield and scares the shit out of the girl because he like gets up, but he has this huge piece of glass through his chest and he dies. So then the car like shuts down. It looks like it's gonna die because he died, but it doesn't. Continues to try to kill the Jock and the girl. They end up running it over with the bulldozer, and it kept like trying to regenerate itself. And then the movie ends like there's a weird like moment where the bulldozer's on top of the car, and it like cuts scene, like they won, like they killed the car, and then it cuts scene to it being squished in a block. And the cops there like, oh, everything's fucking hunky-dory. Dude's dead. You ran over a car. Can't explain it. Cops like, sweet, it all makes sense. So there's another like gap in the, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it kind of cuts to it. Like everybody fucking knows what happened. So that's the movie. The quickest I could explain it. All of that stuff was important to how the movie ran. So essentially a haunted car. My criteria, I don't even have it with me, and I'm not going to go grab it. Basically, I know the part of it was creativity, and this is, do you know of any other haunted movies that has to do with a haunted car?
No.
No, I think the whole concept is it was awesome. Lasting impact, I think this movie It actually scared me, and I was into it, but Captain fucking Butthole over here had to be like, when the car was killing the first guy, she's like, oh, as if. I'm like, all right, listen, get yourself into the movie or just be quiet, because it ruined that scene for me. But lasting impact, like I was totally into the movie. I wouldn't say it scared me, but like even you said,
parts that made me jump.
Yeah, there were. I mean, in the beginning there was the music. Like Pam looked at me and said, "Are you tense right now?" And we both were, because of the camera angles, the music, it was all working. And John Carpenter, is it John? I know it's Carpenter.
Yeah,
John Carpenter did the music for this, and it's not Halloween, but it's very reminiscent. Like the notes are the same. Like the speed,
piano,
it's the piano, but like it's got like it's the same notes, the same instrument, and it's almost fucking Halloween music. Like it's very reminiscent, but it's not at the same time. So the music worked really well. Lasting impact, like I'll never forget that. This is something I would want to watch like every year if we could find time, because it was so good. You know what I mean? VHS always plays to it. There's something we're missing. Oh, did the music work? We just talked about it, and the music did work very well. They did. This movie was awesome. If you had to rate it, 1 through 10.
9.
9. I agree. And I'm only saying a 9 because giving it a 10 would be to say that there's no other horror movie in the world that could make this type of impact. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So, definite 9. I think that's a solid movie. And for me, Pam hasn't seen Nosferatu, but that was my top movie until tonight. I think this just took its place. So, that is Christine in a nutshell. 10 minutes or so. Peace out, Cellar Dwellers.